Welcome to Girl Talk for 80s babies, a space for women in their 40s navigating life, relationships, careers, and everything in between. I'm your host, Davina, and this is where we keep it honest, unfiltered, and real. So grab your drink and let's talk. So today's conversation is one that I think every single one of us can relate to. Because if you grew up in the 80s, even in the early 90s, you probably heard this before. Children should be seen and not heard. In fact, I even remember my mother saying something like, ask no questions and you'll hear no lies. And the thing is, we didn't question, we didn't challenge, we didn't push back. We just adapted. We learned very early on how to stay quiet, be polite, not interrupt, not talk back, go play outside. The adults are talking here, or we used to be told, are you counting teeth? And for the most part, we did. We behaved. We just read the room. We stayed quiet, we stayed polite, we didn't interrupt, and we behaved in a way that made adults comfortable. Let that sink in for a minute. We as children behaved or were taught to behave in a way that made the adults comfortable. We were the good kids, the respectful ones, the well mannered ones, especially girls. The ones who didn't make a scene, didn't ask too many questions, didn't express too much. And even when we did, as girls especially, our parents or the adults in the room would sort of sow seeds of doubt. Like I can remember being told, ach no, the uncle didn't mean it like that. You know what I mean? But what no one really talks about is what that does to you in later life. Because you grow up and suddenly you're supposed to speak up in meetings, set boundaries, express your needs, use your voice. And you are like, when did that become okay? Because for years, using your voice felt like disrespect, disobedience, conflict. We don't want to stir. So instead, you just stay quiet. You overthink, you replay in conversations in your head, and you say yes when you mean to say no. In fact, I often find myself in hindsight thinking what I should have said. And then you tell yourself, next time if I'm in that situation, I will say this and this and this and this. But when you're in that situation, you don't. You don't even know what you feel anymore because you spend so many years filtering, softening, adjusting just to be accepted. And I found myself in that space more times than I'd like to admit. Keeping the peace, choosing silence, holding back, and even when I had something to say, not because I didn't have a voice, but I was taught not to use it. So here's the thing, we've always had a voice. It just got buried under expectations, conditioning, fear of being too much, too loud. And now in our 40s, it's amazing. Something I even said to my sister the other day, she just turned 40 last week or 2 weeks ago. And I said to her that when you wake up tomorrow, it's going to be as if something just switched a light on. Like it was just like a light switched on the morning of my 40th birthday. Something started to shift. We start questioning things. We start realizing it's okay to say no. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to take up space. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay. It's okay to be heard. Maybe it's speaking up in your relationships, asking for more in your career, setting boundaries with family. Oh my word, that is a chapter on its own. Or simply saying what you actually feel without apologizing for it. And no, it doesn't mean it always comes naturally. Sometimes your voice will still shake. You'll still feel nervous, anxious. Sometimes you second guess yourself. Sometimes you still go home and think, should I have said it differently? Should even have said it at all? I mean, we still question ourselves. But finding your voice isn't about becoming louder. It's about becoming more honest and often more honest with ourselves. We were raised to be seen but not heard, and now we're learning how to be both. So if you ever felt like you held back, you over explain, you struggle to say what you really feel, just know that you're not alone and it's not too late. This is your reminder. Your voice matters and it always has. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who needs to hear this. And if you're ready to start using your voice a little more, this is your space to do it. Until next time, stay bold, stay beautiful, and keep talking.